This is a story of 4 people. You're going to get to know them quite well because the point of this story is to learn about communicating with and managing different personality styles. Now, this motley crew are perfect because they represent the extreme versions of these styles. This well-dressed colleague dressed in composed blue is Analytical Alan. He's a great guy, but tends to keep himself to himself. He's very smart, but can have a difficult time making decisions if he hasn't been given all the facts. You'll notice he's a perfectionist and can be overly critical of people, but he's very smart and meticulous about his work. Look at the detail in this. He is what can be defined as an introvert, which means that he likes to focus on his own thoughts and ideas, which places him here. He is also more task-oriented than people-oriented, and I thought he was just a pessimist. Trust me to assume. It actually means he's more of a thinker. When managing blue personalities, be accurate and be specific. Don't rush or pressure them. They like bullet points and statistics, and they expect you to follow things up. They don't react well to change, so try to be consistent. Now, driver Donna. Here's a bit of a different story. She's dressed in ruthless red to reflect her fiery and competitive personality. With Donna, it's either my way or the highway, and she won't stand for anyone pushing her around. She's forceful, determined, and loves a challenge, but she can sometimes be a little too insensitive. Whilst a bit domineering, she's efficient and she gets the job done. There's no doubt she's an extrovert and action-oriented. When managing Donna, it's important not to ignore her. She detests sloppiness, and she doesn't take too kindly to procrastination either. With Donna, do provide options and make sure you focus on the results. A reminder of the opportunities that you're offering her and how it can help to raise her profile. And she'll respond well, I promise you. And that's why it's important to note that Donna needs to have control and a little authority. So be direct. Not everyone is as dominant as Donna. Let me introduce you to amiable Amina, a completely different story. Amina is a caring soul, a real people person who wants to be liked. However, she doesn't do well when faced with conflict. She's more likely to back into a corner and get very upset. Line manager, take note. She much prefers to desk bomb and socialise while slowly getting the job done, and sometimes it's hard to concentrate when she's talking all the time. Like Alan, she's an introvert, a thinker. She likes to talk to herself a lot and can sometimes end up in a victim state. But the way she differs from Alan is that she's more people-oriented than task-oriented. Now be careful not to criticise or ridicule her. She's highly sensitive and is likely to feel failure more than most. She might come across as a little wishy-washy and slow to make decisions, so make sure you show interest in her work and give her lots of support. Now Eli is most definitely not an introvert, but he's also not as dominant as driver Donna in red. Expressive Eli, dressed in yellow, is energetic, a fast reactor, and somewhat impulsive. He's very creative and comes up with lots of great ideas, but doesn't always follow them through. He prefers to talk about things rather than doing them, which makes him a great strategist, providing you can find someone to do his doings. Eli can also be a bit of a loose cannon and forge ahead without first understanding all the facts, so sometimes you need to rein him back in. Now, Eli loves being in the spotlight. His work is organised, if a tad creative. Some might say organised chaos. The best way to manage Eli is to harness his enthusiasm and be flexible, as expressives respond far better to variety than they do to routine. However, don't be too detailed or rely on verbal agreement. Expressives like humour, so remember to give them the freedom to be creative and to have fun. These 4 amazing people are extreme examples of the well-known personality types. These are obviously not exclusive, and people don't actually fit so neatly into each category. But by recognising these behaviour styles and the impact they have on others, makes it easier to manage and mitigate against the impact. Ever wondered why you didn't get on with someone? Or maybe you didn't understand their social style. Or perhaps you had the same social style and clashed when communicating. That was until now.
Created using Powtoon.